Well, hello and welcome to another Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 3 match from Week 1. We've got a great match between two teams in the Invitational League, CLW and Utang Clan. Nothing to heck with. I am Lumaga, one of your two commentators here. With me in the booth is Drossi. Drossi, how you doing?
I'm great this evening. How about you?
Doing fine. Start to the weekend. I couldn't ask for anything more than a good randomizer race tonight.
Yeah, and these two teams had a quite the race for their first race. You can see from the score that CLW won it, but EmoSaru actually individually won that race, but then apathyduck was just too far behind, and the two CLW players who were actually Pikapals and their teammate Nabs last time came in and won it because we go by average time, not by who finishes first.
Yeah, this being a co-op match, you're going to have two people from each team. And like you said, you're going to have to go by the average. This is also an info share match. So each team is on a voice call, able to share, this is what I found in what location, and kind of scout out different areas of the map. So you're expected to see some faster times, even though this is all dungeon. And you're probably going to see, very low collection rate across the board.
And Chad is saying, including Nabs, the teammate of CLW, that apparently their previous race did not go too well. So hopefully this one goes better. And we're off. So full heart in the sanctuary, piece of heart in Link's house.
Yeah, and you can see how each team is setting up, one starting in each of the two starting spots, and try and cover as much ground as early on as possible. Get some information so that you don't have to overlap each other, don't have to double back. All right, Uncle paying out big with 300.
Yeah, that certainly gives us enough money to get through Kakariko, though we still hope to find some bombs and not have to go buy them. Ooh, there's our sword, and wow, that was a fast map check.
I got from the map check that desert is a pendant, eastern was a crystal. Didn't quite notice Hera.
Hera was green pendant, actually.
It doesn't matter a whole lot what they are, because we're going to have to do all dungeons anyway, but of course, Green Pendant will unlock Sahasrara. Boots finding their Flippers finding the dam here.
Yeah, and just because our tracker's updating, that's desert was a pendant and eastern was a crystal. But yeah, green pendant is still good to know because you can still turn it into Sahasrara. I mean, you have to beat the dungeon now, but last night I was calming a match and there was Ice Rod on green pendant, so definitely worth remembering about it.
All right, so we got Duck, who just went through Blind's Hut, didn't quite notice anything of value, but he did pick up the mirror, so I did miss that one.
And there's the book on race game that Swerb just found.
And a lantern in the well, so Kakariko off to a good start.
So I wonder if we'll see an early excursion over to desert, because we just need a glove for that to be full clearable now with the lamp and the sword and the book.
Yeah, and Hammer, which was sequence broken, Emo went over to the waterfall check and picked up a hammer out of that cave.
But she does not have 500 rupees for Zora. That's the only thing about going there too early.
Looked like there was a fairy in a bottle also in Blind's hut. Pikapals just picking that one up.
Yeah, always nice to be able to swing by Sick Kid on your first trip through CAC.
And not only that, I would expect to see a little bit more low percent. All four of these runners are comfortable with some of those harder fights, so you're not going to have as much health.
So apparently flippers were somewhere and Emo got them. It's not a sequence break to have
no,
hammer.
that's right. I even called those out. They were in the dam.
Ah, I was watching CAC. I didn't see the dam. Yeah, definitely. If you're doing a Sank start, it's worth grabbing that heart container when you're only at 3 hearts otherwise.
I think we had a question about what was on the library. That looked like the Bamos medallion.
Regarding Sick Kid having progression, last night he had Lamp. That was interesting.
Yeah, so this is the Invitational League, and all teams were, hand selected to come into this, mostly because of their skill or their placement last season in the league. Lamp is one of those things where it's kind of a luxury for these players. They don't need it, but it's good to have.
Yeah, certainly. Well, if they need a fire source, it can be important.
Sure.
Like right now, if they were to get the glove, it's the fire source that would let them get to Landmo.
And would put Death Mountain in logic as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Knowing what's in logic can help you rule out what locations certain items can be in.
So here's where the info share comes into play. Emo picking up bombs and the lantern and getting out of the well. So good communication is really the key to this. Skill is also important, but you have to be able to communicate with your teammate what to do and what not to do. Save some time. And in the interest of covering more ground, we've got Swerb going over to Sahasrara Eastern area. Nothing in the back of the closet today.
And since you were talking about, how well these teams did last year that they got invited to the Invitational League, Yutang Clan got the 3rd seed in their division and got swept in the first round of the playoffs, actually, by Clown Parade. So they're definitely, I'm sure, hoping to go farther in the playoffs this season. Seal W won their division and made it to the conference semifinals, where they got swept by Team Kappa, who were the eventual runners-up for the whole league.
All right, so Duck exploring escape. Pikapals also for Seal W going down there. Hasn't found anything just yet. One more check in Zelda's cell before we call it a bust.
Well, we have the key, so we can go to the back now. But Duck does not have any bombs. He's going to need to get some if he wants to do the back of escape after checking Dark Cross.
And I haven't been noticing the prize pack, so not sure if these rats or the ropes in the basement will give any of the any bombs for him. But he'll be checking.
Well, there's the map, and yeah, he nopes out because he's not getting any bombs. That could be big because Pikapals has bombs and is probably going to do the same thing, only continue all the way back. And if there's something back there...
Yeah, if there's something back there, then could be a huge early swing. There's still a lot of places to explore, though.
The worst case scenario is there's a glove back there or something locking a glove.
Yeah, and you know how much we love our worst case scenarios.
That's what being in chat's all about, right?
Yep. Well, Eastern also coming up empty. You called it a little bit earlier that this book, this lamp, and, well, minus a glove, we should maybe check out Desert here.
Of course, it's possible that Deserts could be boots locked, but... you know, at a bare minimum, there's one check in there.
There's also Ledge and Agina's Cave, so
right.
A few places there could be some progression.
Swerb picks up his flippers, as Pikapals will be the first to show us this back of escape. Did I call it about a glove being back there?
I recall something about a glove being in the back and maybe something locking glove, but yeah, you called that one.
So that's really rough because depending where the other glove is, you might have to get to the back of escape that way.
Right, the other entrance to that back of escape being with a glove through the graveyard. So it could be a while before Duck goes back there, depending on what he finds. He'll get funneled into it eventually.
Well, I wonder if Emo might do it.
So with the hammer and a sword, I guess, that also makes Landmolus on Desert Palace look pretty good.
Yeah, assuming Desert isn't boots locked, but given the items they've been feeding us, I'm going to guess that it's not boots locked and the seed wants you to do Landmo early.
And actually, we see Pikapals going up Death Mountain. Also a good decision here with the mirror, could scope out Hera.
But he doesn't have the hammer.
Exactly. If he had the hammer, he could continue on to East Death Mountain, which Utane Clan can do sooner.
If they were to get that glove. That's the thing. Each of them has something the other wants and needs.
You know, that just makes it interesting. Not for them, but for chat.
Another bottle there in Spec Rock.
Yeah, I think one is enough here, but ooh, a Master Sword up on the top.
And that's quite grabbable. That also makes for Aga access, which raises the possibility of Moon Pearl being on the pyramid.
Yep, we do have the other two ingredients to get to Dark World, so depending on what we find here on Death Mountain, we could see an Aga in short order.
Oh, but does Pika not have the book? Because this would be a perfect time to grab whatever's on Ether.
So he had to go through CAC. He may have, but he does have the boots. So
Wow.
Desert's looking even better right now.
Pika, you don't have the big key, though. And without the hook shot, there is no getting around the coffee break.
So here's Emo heading into escape. Knows that there's nothing in the front nor through Dark Cross. May just head right over into. No, she is going into the front.
That's interesting. I don't recall us finding anything in the front of escape. Oh, she needs the key, right?
Okay. Yep. Well, lucky for her, there it is. Pikapals through the coffee break. Find out what's here. Oh, no, it's the big key, of course.
So now he can go upstairs. He's got everything he needs to finish the dungeon. There'll be one more item upstairs, and he can grab the green pendant. Oh, and Duck is now going up with the hammer and with the book, so we'll get to see Ether Tablet and East Death Mountain. Oh, and Swerb setting up a Houlihan, interesting. So he's probably thinking Zora, which means he'll also be getting the hammer soon.
Right. CLW hasn't done any of these water checks, so having 500 to go up there saves you a second trip.
And Yutang Clan is about to find out about those gloves. Why did Emo skip the right chest?
I let out a huh as well, so not quite sure.
Because that wasn't the map. So I don't know if they miscounted and Apathy forgot that he got the map in, I think it was Dark Cross. I mean, luckily for them it was junk, but it wasn't the map.
So Duck being up here.
Duck, right, Duck has gloves,
yeah.
so okay. Right. How else would he have gotten up there?
All right. We got Pikapals, who has defeated Moldorm, got the green pendant. We know that Eastern is nothing, but it's still worthwhile to go check out what Sahasrara has.
I mean, he could have the Moon Pearl for all we know. Or the Moon Pearls in East Death Mountain, all sorts of possibilities. Did Duck do Ether Tablet before he went into Hera, or has he not done it yet?
I did not see. I did not see that he did that.
To answer chat, boots were in map chest in Hera.
All right, Swerb using his pocket full of coins to check out what Zora has. Did not see what was on the ledge. Oh, Emo checked it earlier. That's right.
Yeah, it was junk.
Yeah.
And Zora's also got very expensive junk. What did the credits say for that one? Sewing kit for sale?
That sounds about right.
So, Pika's now going to get his book.
And Emo is the first one over to East Death Mountain, so we'll get a few checks here, such as Floating Island, which is nothing.
Oh, and now that they have boots, Swerb is maybe check. Okay, I wasn't sure if he might check Lumberjack before going up Death Mountain.
That would be the time to do it. You know, Aga 1 is not terrible here because you'll have to do him eventually. There's your Moon Pearl in East Death Mountain Spiral Cave.
Oof, so... I mean, I'm sure Swerb will go over there and get it, but that's going to cost Pika because he's going to have to take 2 trips up. Ooh, and we get Bombos out of the library. Down goes Moldorm for apathyduck.
Seven checks over here in Paradox Cave, starting with a shield and a bottle. 2 red items.
Number 3 already.
And sword number 3.
Wow.
And a red cane. So, paid off very well for Utane Clan to head over here.
And CLW will be learning that shortly, but I think all told, they'll be a little bit behind just because Pikapals is going to have to go back up the mountain. The only thing that could make up for it would be if Pikapals finds the Titan's mitts here in Desert and is then able to check Dark Death Mountain at the same time when he goes back up.
Yeah, a lot of different things could swing this between now and the end of the race.
Wow, and EmoSaru's already in Hype Cave where she found Quake. And that was the only thing she found.
Yeah, sometimes that's enough. Well, nothing yet off of Desert Palace for Pikapals. Gonna go to the left side, check the torch, and
looks like Emo's doing Bombo's tablet. That's an interesting move. Oh, there's our bow on the torch. Wow.
You know, I wonder if, since we're doing Bombo's tablet, if we're going to see an early swamp dip.
That would be interesting without the hook shot, but the game did feed us all those items.
Right. And the scouting would really help out both of them later, but looks like she's going to forego that for now.
And yeah, so the tablets are worthless, and the early book is clearly to get us the bow. Stumpy's got nothing for us today.
So Swerb did pick up the hammer on his way up to Zora. Now that Pika knows where it is, I would expect to see a Pod Eastern play out of CLW soon after this.
Yeah, and then they can weave in the green pendant turn into that too. That bow also makes the Landmo fight a bit easier. It's okay with Master Sword, but it's nice if you also have a bow.
So we got Thieves Town as our last pendant, Pod and Ice Palace are your red crystals. Duck just gave us that map check.
So with all these early pendants too, because Thieves Town we can do immediately with the Dark World access. Oh, and Duck just finds our third medallion. We now know where all the medallions are. But yeah, I was going to say, with 3 pendants early, it makes me wonder if there's progression on Ped.
Yeah, all 3 pendant dungeons, very easy, very short, so quite a possibility.
Speaking of pendant dungeons being useful, there is the Fire Rod in Thieves Town. So all 3 pendant dungeons have had progression in them. So Pika still needs his hammer.
Yeah, it hasn't made
like
its way up there yet, but... Oh, here he goes.
Emo's gonna find out about that nice bow on the torch.
Now, Duck only checked the chest game and went right to Thieves Town, so Swerb giving us a few more Village of Outcast checks. Starting with the brewery, just $5.
Has he done chest game yet? I don't see the ether on his tracker. I don't see the ether on Duck's tracker either, actually. Then again, the trackers have been acting up.
Yes, I can attest to that. So our trackers are doing a fine job. Sometimes it isn't their fault for this. Let's give a shout out to Yoinka's wife and Bandman25 for keeping us on task here.
Absolutely. Okay, Pikapals is now finally going to grab all the East Death Mountain goodies. I do want to see what's on Ped, though, because it is very interesting having all 3 pendant dungeons come up so early and have progression in all of them.
Yeah, definitely how you were supposed to play through this. And finding the Fire Rod in Thieves Town would lead you to Skull Woods. You have the mirror. The pet is right there to grab.
Yeah, and with the tempered sword, Skullwood shouldn't be too much of a problem either.
It's bombs, Pikapals, not bombos.
See, now, if Emo's watching this in the replay, she's probably feeling vindicated because she absolutely hates Quick Swap.
Yes.
And
that is what will trip up some runners occasionally. Quick Swap is a skill in itself to learn.
But Pikapals has what he needs. Emo's having a really fast time with that tempered sword and the arrows. And Duck takes down Blind at the same time.
That was fantastic. She softened him up with the bow and then got the last 2 in one spin.
So we're well on our way item-wise here. We know we won't need to go on any sort of medallion hunt. We are going to need hookshot and mitts and ice rod and flute, and I think that's about it.
That sounds about right. And here goes Pika over to the east side of Dark World, so has everything for Pod Eastern and can combo them with that mirror. And with Pod having 5 items in it, it's a great dense location to go check out.
And he's going to check the green pendant right now. Nothing doing. Oh, Emo's going to give us our first pyramid check.
So Duck had just finished out the Thieves Town area, but is in the Light World to, I guess, go straight to Desert. Did not check. Did he check K45? Or maybe Emo checked 45?
Emo checked K45. It was the Bloomerang, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, it's just interesting that he wouldn't do Skull Woods while he's in the neighborhood. I mean, sure, he'll need that bow, but you don't need the bow for Skull Woods.
But he couldn't very easily get the pendant off of Desert Palace and then go back to Skull Woods. I think that might be what he's trying to combo in here.
Hey, there are silvers. Well, it's Swerb's bow, but we know where both bows are now. I'm sure all the runners will be getting silvers.
Yeah, they're not out of the way. You're going to see everybody get it.
So worst case scenario is a tempered silvers Ganon fight. Watch your magic there, Swerb.
Right, a few misfires into those pots.
So Emo's right behind Pika routing through Pod. Ooh, there's the hook shot. Nice.
So that gives us all of Swamp Palace, actually.
Yeah. I mean, we obviously need the mitts, we'll need the flute to get to Meyer, we'll need the ice rod for Trinex, and that's it. Moth drops the bug net, which is nice because that means there are no items in the front of Skull Woods. We don't need to touch it.
It's hilarious when the bug drops the net.
Well, maybe it was trying to catch itself.
All right, another nice land list here from apathyduck.
And get your pet hype in. Ah,
dang. You know, the seed was pointing towards Ped, just the way the pendant's laid out. So, yeah, that's a little disappointing. Nonetheless.
Chat speculating about Mitts and Swamp, which seems reasonable because that's the only dungeon we haven't been in yet that isn't Mitt locked.
Yeah, haven't been keeping track of all of the items in Pod. Still possibility for maybe the mitts to be on Helmasaur. Otherwise, you're probably looking at Swamp.
Yeah, and there are a few things like Graveyard Ledge and Catfish that we haven't seen, but
sure.
Swamp's certainly the most item-rich remaining location. And it looks like Swerb's gonna do Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb. And maybe even head over to Catfish.
Yeah, when you handle South Dark World, you're going to have to do all of these checks at once because they just get isolated otherwise.
But that's the nice thing about a co-op. Only one partner needs to do them.
Right.
So Duck is going to get his silvers here. Ooh. So that mushroom routes in pretty well for Swerb. He can just turn it in right away unless he wants to save it for fake powder.
Yeah, he's not in a great position to do safe scumming.
Yeah, but without the flute, this is kind of his opportunity to go by Magic Shop.
Nice couple of quick swings and a kill for Pikapals. Last item is bombs, so...
Lots of money, which is good for immediately buying a couple of blue potions. Down goes Moth for apathyduck. I wonder if he's just gonna blind pull Ped.
Right, we know it's nothing, but nobody on Utang Clan has been over this way until now. So I wouldn't be surprised if he at least checked it.
I'm sure he'll check it. The question is, like, you know, the amount of time it takes you to read it, you might as well just pull it.
Maybe without quick swap. With quick swap, it's, you know, a few clicks of the R button and you get over to the book. Oh, no, here's the blind pull.
See?
Don't spend it all in one place.
Swerb will get his heart container off the pyramid here. I didn't actually see what Catfish had, but I'm assuming nothing since I don't see anything in the tracker and I don't see chat going crazy.
Same.
Ah, Bandman, our tracker's telling us just a big 20. Not even stopping for a refill. Pikapals hoping he just gets the quick kill here.
Lines up very nicely for it, and there he goes.
Quick kill pays off. But yeah, with those mitts still not turning up, Swamp is by far the likeliest place for them to be.
And I'm just taking note of the dungeons that they've completed. Each team is completed. You know, in a co-op seed, of course, you don't want to overlap and be in the same dungeon at the same time. So someone should be going to swamp soon, and the other should take care of maybe some things the first teammate has already uncovered.
So Pikapals looks like he'll be our first runner into swamp. I mean, on some level, with him having neither the fire rod nor the silvers, he could have made Argus a little bit easier going into desert and getting the silvers first, but it's faster to get here. Probably wouldn't make up for that.
Right, and I think the knowledge of what items are in which locations is more valuable than just going to grab all of those. Because when you know where things are in swamp, swamp is a very quick dungeon.
So yeah, Swerb will be able to skip that first chest. And not too surprisingly, Emo has followed Pikapals into swamp. Oh, and Duck is doing the Zora check for Yutang Clan. They haven't been up there because Emo didn't have the money when she went.
That's right. So he'll spend that $5 he pulled from Pad plus 495 more. Well, that's a nice spot for the big key, at least in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, always nice when you don't have to backtrack to open that. And Pikapals setting up Diver down. So with that crystal grab on Swerb's side, these two teams are pretty even.
Yeah, both have 7 dungeons completed combined.
And the top two runners are in basically the same place.
Both teams being locked by these myths, which are likely to be here in, I think almost assuredly to be here in Swamp Palace.
Oops, that fire snake is getting in Emo's way. She's having a little bit of trouble setting up Diver down. There we go.
There's Blue Mail. So that's our third item here in Swamp, followed by bombs. 2 more in the back.
Probably not worth going over to left side swamp just for Blue Mail, so I fully expect their teammates to skip it. To answer chat, progression could not be on Pyramid Ferry because Ice Palace is locked by the myths. Yeah, I think we've seen everything else, though, that isn't myths locked.
Well, these last 2 are going to be in the waterfall and on Argus himself.
Hey, there's our last bottle.
Another nice quick kill on Armos, this time from Swerb. And now, Emo did not do left side. She went straight to the back, didn't she?
No, she has the blue mail, and I remember even though she had a bit of trouble with Diver Down, she got it.
Okay, I missed it.
Yeah, and without the Fire Rod or the, Yep, there are the mitts.
Yep, as expected.
Yeah, without the Fire Rod or the silvers, two spins with the Tempered Sword is the best way to go.
Okay, so that unlocks quite a bit for us. Of course, Dark Death Mountain, Turtle Rock area, and Ice Palace. Still need the flute if we want to get over to Meyer, though.
Probably, I would think, do Ice Palace before going up Death Mountain again, just in case you can save yourself an additional climb. But yeah, we've also opened up Smith Chain, though at this point that just amounts to Hammer, Peg, Smith, and Purple Chest since we've gotten everything else along the way.
So, well, Emo didn't get the mushroom, but Apathy Duck has. I don't know if he turned it in. If Emo does get it, she could always fake powder. Unlikely to do any of that because if you have access to dungeons, you're going to want to clear them.
Yes, as Kern likes to say, always be clearing.
Yep, ABC. Chat, no, Ice Rod and Flute we definitely need for Go mode.
I mean, given how these seeds have been, it's probably going to be Flute on Laser Bridge. We saw that the other day.
Progression on Laser Bridge? You must be joking.
Hammer Pegs is just vanilla there. Kind of interesting. I guess Pikapals figures he might as well, you know, do Thieves Town and Skull Woods and get his Fire Rod before he goes into Ice Palace, though. Emo's tracker must be behind. Does she have Fire Rod or does she have Bombos? She has Bombos, okay.
She does have Bombos. She got it off the library.
Yeah, I knew where it was, I just didn't remember which one she had gotten other than... She had to have one of them or she couldn't have gotten this far in Ice. And there's Pikapal's Fire Rod. So far, nothing of interest in Ice. Wow, that was a Hammer Glide. Interesting. Okay, nice routing to get the big key before going over to big chest area. Oh my, Emo really did just use quick swap there.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. So here's a free bomb jump. So we're picking up his Titan's mitts. So yeah, you were saying interesting to go to Thieves Town. You're right. You do want to cover as much ground as you can. I suppose the plan is maybe for Swerb to follow those mitts rather than Pikapals. Though he did do Smith Chain, I guess maybe you'll see something else.
So what's the deal here? Duck has all the pendants. We know that's accurate on his tracker because he pulled Ped. He also has finished Skull Woods, but he only has wooden arrows. Given the locations of the two bows, why would you skip one of them? Even if your Silverless Ganon is really good, the amount of time it would take you to pick up both bows is less than the amount of time it would take you to do Silverless Ganon.
You know, I didn't notice that. Very good observation, but yeah, that's going to cost him time in the Ganon fight.
Yeah, chat just saying he flat out skipped it and walked right by it.
And I can't really tell here. The trackers are not fully updated for who has silvers, but I think at least 2 of these runners have silvers.
I don't think anyone has silvers, actually, because none of the other runners have done both Desert and Skull Woods yet.
You're right. Actually, they picked up separate bows. Yep.
So nice division of labor on CLW's part, because since Swerb could basically go mode Swamp Palace, he's now the one in Ice Palace, while Pika goes back through and does Thieves Town, Smith Chain, and everything.
Now the thing is, if Swerb, if they don't find a flute soon, and I don't know whether they're not going to in Ice Palace, they're probably going to wind up in Turtle Rock together.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally see that this comes down to everyone last locationing Turtle Rock. But at the same time, I'd think Pika would want to get Skull Woods out of the way. But no, he's gonna go and do Turtle Rock.
Interesting choice, because going that far up the mountain, it takes a good minute at least, and you don't want to do that too many times in a seed.
Well, I mean, he knows from Swerve what's in Skull Woods. He'll get his silvers and his bug net eventually.
I could understand the argument if it was a pendant, right? But it's a crystal, so you could minimize the climbs up here to get to GT later.
Well, except I think the flute pretty well has to be on Dark Death Mountain at this point, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to go back down to do Meyer anyway.
Does Pika not have Ether? So Turtle Rock is in Ether entrance?
It would be odd if he didn't stop by chest game, but I can't swear to whether he stopped by chest game.
Well, he didn't open it right away, so he's going to have to mirror back and reopen it.
Did he skip chest game while he was in Thieves Town? That would be odd. But, ooh, Swerb, meanwhile, took a death to cold stare, and that really bites.
There's your ice rod and Super Bunny.
Yeah, so Pikapals skipping chest game when he was right next to it is gonna cost him an extra trip up the mountain, I guess. He's doing Spike Cave in the meantime.
Yeah, I mean, you never know if it was just a forgetfulness on his side, or maybe Swerb didn't communicate it, but yeah, it's gonna definitely cost another trip.
Yeah, so that's even costlier than Duck skipping silvers. So Duck will be able to open TR and full clear it here. Oh,
Right,
no.
Oh, man.
Okay, he had a fairy. All for a piece of heart. So now Pikapals has to go back to Village of Outcasts, get the ether. Presumably he'll do Skull Woods while he's down here. So I'd say this gives Yutang Clan decidedly the lead now.
Oh, right. Dungeons aside, there's a huge time loss here in double backing. Duck about to pick up that ice rod, and he has opened up Turtle Rock, so this is his opportunity to take on Trinex, and I'm sure that the flute is in here.
Yeah, I mean... And this also goes to show you how at this level of play the tempo of a game can change so quickly, because 5 minutes ago I would have said that CLW had a narrow lead, and then Pika goes up the mountain without ether, and Swerb takes a death to cold stare, and that changes everything.
So actually, Powder, we saw it was in here in Paradox Cave. Duck got it, and also Pikapals got it. Flute could be on bat. Maybe Pikapals could check that here and luck out.
Looks like he's going to check it. I think this is literally the last overworld check, except for technically Mimic Cave, which is basically part of TR.
Just a fancy cape.
Not gonna do much for us at this point. So Pika goes back up the mountain as Swerb is, unfortunately, as we know from Emo checking it, wasting his time with Pyramid Fairy. Pikapals really doesn't want to do Skull Woods, though.
Right. You did make a good point. This is really the only thing that's left where it's unknown. And based on what we do know, Flute has to be here. So
yeah, and I
might as
guess
well do it.
I guess he figures then he'll have to go back to CAC anyway to activate the flute, so might as well do Skullwoods then.
Well, Duck got the flute. He got it in TR on the right side.
That's also interesting that he did Fire Locked side before Compass Chest. I know some runners go by that meta, but most go to Compass Chest first.
6 of one, half dozen of the other, in my opinion. So Emo took down Blind, and probably just going to do some cleanup on her way up to Turtle Rock. She's got Skullwoods, and I guess Hera might save Hera just before GT, though.
So yeah, CLW isn't really too far behind. I mean, Pika and Duck are basically in the same place in TR. Duck's a little bit ahead, but Duck has done Skullwoods. And Emo, meanwhile, is also doing Skullwoods, so she'll have a desert up on Swerb, but Swerb's gonna be in TR well ahead.
Well, there's our first silver arrows. Emo picking up the bow in Skullwoods.
We still haven't seen half magic. Yeah, so I just realized that was also go mode when Duck found the flute, so that's sub-hour go mode for both teams. That's pretty good.
Question from chat, where was Ice Rod Super Bunny Cave? Right on the doorstep of Turtle Rock.
Key under the doormat, as usual. So that's EmoSaru's 7th dungeon, so now we can see that Yutang Clan, both players have 7 dungeons, whereas CLW, they both have 6. And so roughly speaking, 1 short dungeon for each CLW player is the time difference in the game right now. And Duck will be our first runner into Trinex.
Kind of a low percent fight. He's got green mail and, what, 7 hearts here? 6 hearts.
Yeah, he by far has the least number of heart containers of any of the runners. That CLW split up their heart containers more evenly, so you know the two teams have 18 heart containers total, but it's the difference of 9 and 9 versus 11 and 7.
Right, but Trinex was no problem here for Duck, especially with the tempered sword. So gets that one pretty easily.
And this is one of those blessed seeds where we do not need to see Laser Bridge.
It's about all you can hope for a fast Turtle Rock. That and I guess stealing the key from Pokey and skipping the big chest.
So now the big remaining routing questions will just be, how long does it take each team to find the big keys of Meyer and GT?
Oh, Pika. There we go. Took a Trinex to the face, but struck back.
Yeah, the blue mail definitely helped.
So all of the dungeons left, like you said, are relatively short. Certainly Hera, Desert, Mire, depending on the big key, and we're about to finish out with Turtle Rock on Steel W's end. And Ice Palace for apathyduck will be quick with Icebreaker and nothing else inside of it.
Assuming he doesn't die to cold stare.
So remember how we were asking about Duck not getting silvers? That was his first bow. But it has the silvers now.
Okay, so now Pika's going up to do Skullwoods. So I'll stop complaining about him not doing it. So oh, Mire was Quake, and Duck never went into Hype Cave to get the Quake medallion.
Oh dear. Yeah, it's one of those things. If you have two medallions, not having knowledge of the third one, and not knowing what the entrance medallion is, you could always chance it and skip that third medallion. Just didn't work out here.
Yeah, and Hype Cave is a fast check, especially since it was just the NPC. He didn't even have to bomb his way to the back, but, you know, that lets Seal W make up half a minute.
Okay, Swerb gonna activate the flute, start jetting around the last few dungeons he needs to clear out.
Nice iframes for Emo there getting through the crystal roller room.
And Duck completely blazed through the through the second room of Mire.
Watch out, Pika. There we go. So, what's Swerb? Oh, Swerv's running to get Bombos because they don't know that Mire's Quake, so they're being on the safe side and making sure they have all three medallions first.
So that might actually cancel out a little bit of the catch-up they got from Duck having to go back and get Quake.
Yeah. Though at least it was easy enough to route in with activating the flute.
Sure. Emo was trying for this quick kill behind Argus. Didn't quite get it, but took down the fire and now the ice head. No, not quite.
And so Swerv's gonna finish off Desert while Pika does Mire and figures out where the big key is, so they're not both searching for the big key at the same time. Where was the big key anyway? I didn't see it on Duck's side.
I
Obviously, we got
couldn't tell you. We could watch Pika. It can't be too deep into it. I saw him going to the bridge and the spike chest. So one of those two.
Oh, so you think it was a Godmire? Oh, yeah, chat's saying
Yeah.
Godmire. Okay.
Yeah, I know he didn't go to the left side of Meyer.
So routing doesn't really matter. I mean, a Godmire's a Godmire. I saw a race earlier this week where some of the difference was that Big Key was, I believe, in either lobby chest or map chest, and one runner decided to check the cutscene room first, and the other didn't.
Yeah, so there's your big chest on the spike.
The true Godmire.
So Duck with just Ice Palace, and he will have all of his Crystal and Pendant dungeons complete, can make his way up to GT. This is going to be a quick one, just Icebreaker, get straight to the boss.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Swerb is not going to be much behind Emo. Pikapals isn't going to be much behind Duck going into Ice. They're really converging at this point.
Yeah, I think like you, maybe it was you or maybe it was chat, this could come down to just where's the big key in Ganon's Tower at this point.
Absolutely. I think we're going to see all four of our runners searching for it at the same time, and it'll be interesting to see how each team divides up the labor. Silvers are nice on Viddy. So yeah, I guess Pikapals is about a minute behind apathyduck, and Swerb is about a minute behind EmoSaru, if I had to guess.
It sounds about right. I think we'll have to see what their GT entrance times are. And since this is a co-op race, of course, it's not first to win. It's not, once both win. It is average time. So all four runners' times are going to count for the result here.
And maybe Pika got spooked by his partner's death to cold stare, but he just got a blue potion to be on the safe side. Yeah, Emo's maybe like 4 rooms ahead of Swerb.
Can't quite get the placement of that Samaria block.
That's been one nice thing about having 2 leagues this season. We've had a lot more exciting races. But, last season there was 1 league, and so we had runners of all varieties, and there were unfortunately quite a few blowouts.
Yeah, it is nice to see people have a lot more competitive races. And also, if they do well, right, they may get invited to the Invitational League in a Season 4.
And on the flip side, there's incentive for Invitational League teams to continue to try to play their best even if they're eliminated from the playoffs, because the last place teams in each division will drop down to the Open League next season.
So that's true. Jossie, I want to take note that Duck has all of his crystals. So does Emo, actually. So we're going to do something here.
Oh yeah, we have that little game there.
Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, so there are 22 locations that we could check in Ganon's Tower to find that big key. And if you guess correctly here and are the first person to guess correctly, you will get lots of internet points. Internet points.
Breakfast of champions, I guess. How do you like to guess on this? I know there's no strategy, but what's your gut feeling?
I mean, I tend to go with 10 if I don't have some other, like, intuition here. Just kind of my thing. What about you? You put in 9.
I did put in 9, which in my routing would take me to the fire snake room, just because I don't like to go through deep into Ganon's tower, and I don't wish that on all of our runners either. So nothing too hard, nothing too easy.
So all 4 of our runners now have all 7 crystals, but Swerb and Emo still have to do Hera.
Right, and looks like Duck is going to make his way into GT first, so we will go by Duck's count on the GT guessing game.
And also, it's worth remembering that since this is all dungeons, once they finish GT, they will still have to climb Aga Tower and beat Aga 1 before they can drop into Ganon.
That's right, Ganon will call you names if you forget to do Aga 1, actually.
So 1:14:27 for Duck's entrance here.
Emo lining up that Hera pot.
Yeah, since they both have hook shots, they can do it, whereas their partners came through here without.
There's the big key.
Oh, that was fast.
Yeah, I believe that was 3, actually. It was Torch and then 2 in the DM room.
So congratulations, Sun Fisherman.
Yeah, congrats.
Was that an intentional death warp, or?
No, it wasn't. Well, maybe it was.
I mean, an intentional
attempt for a
attempted death warp, I guess.
Jinx. Right, he could have mirrored, but instead used a fairy he may not have remembered he had.
So 1:15:47, so a minute 20 Pikapals is behind Duck, but unfortunately that's gonna increase because he is doing the Hope Room first.
And he finds a key, so he has the option to go right, and it looks like he's gonna do that.
He is. I mean, Swerb will undoubtedly go left so that they can divide up the labor, but it is gonna cost them some time.
Yeah, without a key, he would have been sent to the left side, but just the way it's laid out here. Who knows? He could find the 4th sword and kind of tear through the gauntlet a little bit quicker.
Emo's in at about 1:16:25, and Swerb still needs to open the tower. Ooh, there's the shovel. So Swerb enters GT about half a minute after EmoSaru, so... And Pikapals is going full right. This is just unfortunate because Swerv's gonna find the big key in about 15 seconds, and then Pikapals is gonna have to mirror in a hurry.
Yeah, I guess this would really work out if, I guess, in CLW's favor, if it was behind Armos. Certainly not if it was in like the rando room or tile room. It didn't work out for Pikapals in the end, but knows where it is now. Yeah,
and I mean, at this point, it would take a death or a Ganonfall on Yutang Clan's part to change this game. But never say never, those things do happen.
Just a quick magic refill on his way up so he can light these 4 torches.
But this is what you love to see when all 4 runners are climbing GT at the same time.
Now, Duck did find Blue Mail also in the DM room along with the big key, but still stops to grab a fairy. He hasn't collected any more hearts since the last time we counted, so not a bad move here.
Well, Swerb got that Blue Mail too and just went into the emergency room.
Yes.
And the emergency room is how we know bonking is in logic, because that is literally the only way to get into it.
All right, the first of 2 Agas, or the second, however you're going to count it. Starting off with a triple.
Wow,
Very
nice.
lineup.
So 3-0-1-2, that's an interesting combination. Swerb having a bit of trouble with land mode 2 here, but gets it.
And Emo nearing the top of the tower, just 2 rooms behind Landmo 2.
And Pikapals finally makes it out of the gauntlet.
Yeah, and this climb should be no problem for Duck. He's got the silvers out. Pick a weapon, silvers or fire rod, and you'll tear through this.
It's also worth noting that this race really could have gone either way. That, you know, if the big key had been right side, Pika's gamble would have paid off, and they probably would be caught up right now.
Sorry, which gamble?
Pika's gamble by going full right and waiting for Swerb to go left.
Yeah, when you enter GT at, within a minute or 2 of your opponent, it could come down to something as simple as which direction do you choose. And Duck gonna have to be a little careful here, down to 3 hearts, but he will get the full refill upon beating Aga 1.
Yeah, that's why runners like to save this for last when they're doing in all dungeons if they're able to. Then you're at full health and full magic dropping into Ganon.
So making the climb herself.
As Duck approaches Aga 1, Emo enters the tower, Swerb fights Aga 2, and Pika has just taken down Moldorm 2. Wow. Oh yeah, so we didn't even ask chat to guess blue balls. That's 1.
And as soon as you say that, here comes a third.
Right. Which also means that we could well see all three runners in AGA 1 at the same, all four runners in AGA 1 at the same time if this is a sufficiently long AGA 1 fight.
I would hate to see this fight where Duck is still on AGA 1 while Pika starts AGA 1, honestly.
Hey, there was an energy ball where it could have been a blue ball. So we're not going to see more than 11. Now we're not going to see more than 7. Because that's our 5th energy ball, so the worst he can do is 3 more blue balls.
And he only has 1 more for him. On to the big pig.
So it's a 5 blue ball day. And apathyduck gets out of there and drops into Ganon right as his partner enters AGA 1. And Ganon is starting his day with a delicious whole grain breakfast.
Now he maintains his impressive physique. So apathyduck quickly into phase 2. With these hook stabs, trying to get the 1-1, but unfortunate death. He did get a fairy up on the climb of AGA 2.
Yeah, that bug net was useful for a change. So that's phase 3 done. On to phase 4 with silvers, always the way we like to do phase 4. Does not get the torch glitch, does not need the torch glitch. So assuming he can cross the bridge, get your GGs in for apathyduck. He will finish first of our runners with an official race time of 1:25:45.
At this point, we'll probably wait until the rest of our runners finish up with AGA and Ganon respectively to get our interviews in, but GG to apathyduck.
So again, gets the double before the torches even go out, and gets another double there, so GG's to EmoSaru. And she crosses the bridge with an official time of 1:27:03.
So with the 2 times here between the Yutang clan members, they have an average of 1:26:24. With CLW in the 127s themselves, cannot beat that average.
Yeah, I mean, when 2 players on the same team finish first and second, that kind of clinches the win right there.
Yeah.
But Swerb just took down Ganon here, so he will not be too far behind, and Pikapals is already on phase 3. And that gets Swerb through the door at 128.03. GG's.
Just
And
another, what, 1 or 2? There we go. There's Pikapals' last arrow.
And he goes through at 128.35. So that's an average of 128.19, which makes for a minute 55 difference. So definitely a close game.
Yeah, GG's to all of our runners. We are joined by the members of the Utang clan, apathyduck and EmoSaru. Welcome and GG's.
Yo, thanks.
GG.
So, what did you guys think of that seed? It seemed pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, pretty straightforward. Boots and tempered early, so it makes it straightforward. Everything mostly in dungeons. Let us split up. Didn't bottleneck us, so for a co-op seed was pretty convenient.
Yeah, it didn't really I don't know. Didn't really punish us much for however our brains work. I feel like there are a lot of teams that play a lot more aggressive in the second half of these things, and we try to do a little bit of that, but I don't know, it just feels wrong, and so the seed, it kind of worked out fine anyway. But
well, slow and steady, right?
something like that. Slow and steady loses by a consistent average amount. That's correct.
Except you won by almost 2 minutes.
Occasionally that happens, but
So I do want to ask, we saw that Meyer was Quake, but Duck, you did not have the Quake medallion, had to go back to Hype Cave. Was that an intentional decision to skip it initially, since you had 2 medallions already?
Nope. It wasn't I should have gotten it before I went to Death Mountain. I got bailed out there, and I got bailed out with the bow in Skull Woods, so.
yeah, we got bailed out a couple times, I think, during that race. So it was good.
Hey, and we now have Pikapals in here with us. GG.
Hey, GG.
And that sounds like Swerb, so we've got all our runners now.
Hello.
GG's, guys.
Oh, GG.
GG's.
So we were talking a little bit in the chat, and I think all of us screwed up each day a little bit, and we were, you know what? For how much we all screwed this up, I feel like 1-1 is pretty fair for both of us. So
I'll take it.
Yeah, mistakes that we made yesterday, and apparently you guys made yesterday, and then I made mistakes today too, and I just got bailed out with the bow and Quake.
Yeah, that was funny. Skipping, just you went right by it.
Yeah, well, someone told me Desert Palace was trash, so.
Look, you asked me questions in
Classic
confusing
miscommunication.
orders, so just be less confusing, and I won't confuse you with my answers.
But no, even going into this week, knowing that we were racing you two, I told Nabs and Pika, I was like, I'd be happy with a 1-1, which honestly is probably how I feel about every week, looking at the people in this division and then the league as a whole, honestly.
Yeah, our division is pretty stacked, so it's gonna be rough. So yeah, I mean 1-1s are, you'll take them certainly.
Duck, I want you to know that I'm really sad that it was Cold Stare that I died on. I would have been anywhere else would have been fine, totally fine.
What about Helma?
Helma, that would have been
Helma,
fine.
dying on Helma is a team CLW tradition.
We can do that.
Clearly.
But I was poking fun about your Cold Stare deaths, and then,
Yeah,
meanwhile, I was taking notes.
Actually, all my boss fights were pretty good. I had the Zero Cycle Argus, I had the single spin Cold Stare, I had the double poke dash Trinex again, so and then the only boss I guess technically I went and got silvers before Meyer. I didn't have the health to do spin strats on Vidi, so I had a silver, and then I ran into arrow problems in GT. So And I was even I told Emo, I'm like, I'm gonna get the arrows from Ice Palace, and I just completely forgot to do that. Like I forgot a bunch of stuff, and like we got screwed on Eastern or Escape again, because we were really resource hosed early on. So I went to do front of Escape, and like this time I didn't screw it up. I just didn't have a bomb to go to the back, and like I went back relatively shortly because I'm like, it's back to Escape. The gloves are back there because it's just us. So.
Yeah, I would say CLW had a small lead for a good chunk of the game, basically from that escape point until Swerb's death to Cold Stare.
Yeah, it was. We definitely felt like it was that, and then sometimes you walk past the medallion that you just so happen to need later.
Yeah, I mean, if I had that like, again, like take 3 minutes off and divide it by 2, like that's just about what this gap is. So it would have been real close.
Yeah, I mean, me and Pico were talking, and like I told him, I think like if I didn't die and he didn't forget Ether, like we probably would have won. But if we just didn't do one of those things, I think you guys still would have had it. So.
And if GT Big Key had been on right side, you could have still won. I mean, that's, a luck thing of how you choose to go about finding the big key.
Yeah, Pico, why didn't you go left first, man?
Well,
it's all your
I got
fault.
a key on the right side. I had to go right. That's how GT
I mean,
works,
that is
right?
the rule, really.
I mean, unless you do modified DM, which is clearly the superior route. Also, shoutouts to me doing bow whiz robes so I could save a menu during quick swap, and then accidentally quick swapping off of Fire Rod to powder in Torches 1. That was really great.
Speaking of quick swapping to odd things, which one of you did bombos when you were trying to get a bomb out?
I hear that bombos has bombs in the name, so it blows up cracked walls. How that works,
if it makes you feeling better, at one point there was a world record that bombosed in the middle of the ice rod screen for no reason for a certain category. Yeah, we won't talk about that a lot. Former world
Sounds
record.
like a good way to get rid of crabs, honestly.
Yeah, if you do it really low and you not even buy the crabs, then. Also, as a glitch category, you just skip the crabs. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're seeing some nice low collection rates come up here, especially you, Duck, 100 even.
Yeah.
6 hearts.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what it comes down to ultimately is that I was just doing all the work, so that's
We're just skipping all the bad stuff that you didn't find. What's your collection rate?
120.
Wow.
So, yeah, and Swerb showing a 106, and we're about to see Pika's here.
129.
129. Okay, so you guys definitely got away with a few fewer checks, but some of that's, of course, right side GT.
Yeah,
and being able to
for
skip
sure.
it.
And then
I skipped things pretty aggressively. Like I didn't get the mail at Emo, or the mail, and there's a couple other things I just.
Well, I wouldn't really expect you to go to left side swamp for the mail.
No, that's where it was. Yeah. I think I was thinking of yesterday where there was like a mail in like Meyer Shed or something. That was pretty easy that I skipped.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Yeah, we saw the mail on left side swamp, and we were like, yeah, their partners aren't going for that.
So why don't we look forward a bit to next week, right? Week 2 is, of course, open 7-7, normal defeat Ganon. Team CLW, you're going up against the Vendrana Drifters, and Utang Clan going up against Team Kappa. Any thoughts? Like you said, this is a kind of a stacked division, but in my opinion, they're all stacked. Any thoughts on the teams next week?
Well, we just have to go up against Jet's team. He didn't do anything like win a big tournament lately, right?
That was a year ago. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's still such a thing as the main tournament.
I've been so busy I didn't even know what mode or who we were playing next week. So like I got the SMZ3 thing this weekend, so I gotta get through that before I guess we'll figure. I'm probably running with Open Ganon, to be honest, but
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I mean, ultimately, like, if I'm in it, I actually feel like I generally do better on my own as opposed to in co-op.
thanks.
But you're welcome. But I also know that
Is that why you finished first?
Yep.
Hey, she
well,
finished first yesterday.
Yeah, it was exactly what I was going to say.
Wow.
So the at any rate, I was being so nice until he was being mean. But at any
Only
rate,
time she's ever finished first.
Is that
okay? We're on speed gaming right now. So at any rate,
Yeah, I usually beat you in randomizer season.
Oh, right. Yeah. So at any rate, the important thing is that we'll see how the rando goes, and we'll probably have to do the gambles in order to beat the gamblers, because I don't know. I feel like out of all the teams in the league, at least in our division, like Duck and I are some of the least rando players. Like I feel like in terms of like the meta plays and stuff like that, a lot of the other teams go for those a lot more than we do. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, we got to talk about who's racing next week. But I already told Nabs that he has to carry the team now since he's the undefeated one. So hopefully he can carry us.
So which of you is taking next week off then?
Good question. We'll find out next week.
Yep. We'll rock, paper, scissors.
Well, in any case, thanks again to our runners. GG's to all of you. And please give them all a follow. You know, they're all great runners to watch. And we'll be seeing a lot more of all of them next week and through the remainder of the league.
And this weekend, cough.
that like SMZ3 tournament that I
Yeah,
heard about.
the invitational thing that's going on this weekend that everyone should come check out.
Yeah, I hear there are quite a few matches tomorrow.
Yeah, it's starting 10 a.m. I think Andy and Hataka's on, and then Maniacal and Aussie, and then it's me versus Wild, and Asder versus Nito, I believe, at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Where's that going to be at?
SpeedGaming, I believe. SpeedGaming 1.
Yeah, and meanwhile, league action will resume at noon tomorrow on Speed Gaming 5. We'll have I Like Big Boots against Triple Dino Disaster. And follow all the Speed Gaming channels. We're on Speed Gaming, and then there's Speed Gaming 2 through 6. And you'll get notifications about all the SMZ3 and ALTTPR League matches tomorrow. Also make sure to follow the ALTTPR League and the ALTTPR League 2 through 4, because Speed Gaming's pretty busy. We can't have all the matches on here. We're having some of the matches over there tomorrow, and we also have the Open League, which is going on over there. And also, thanks again to our trackers, Yoinker's Wife and Bandman. It's a lot to keep track of here. You can see, you know, reasonably full trackers, especially on Pikapals' side. So they were certainly kept busy and kept us on top of things. And finally, Lumaga, it was great calming with you. I think this is our first time doing it together, right?
Oh, we've had a few, but it's been a long time since we've calmed together, and I definitely enjoyed this race and calming with you. Thanks.
I guess that's just all ancient history at this point.
Sure. But, you know, you're saying give the trackers a follow. Be sure to give Drosy a follow if you really care to. I don't recommend it. Give myself a follow.
Follow everybody. They're not like... It's not a resource to be rationed out.
I can only follow 69 people, and then I'm done.
There's a shortage.
Okay, well,
of
that's fair.
followers.
There you go.
Probably unfollow Emo and follow me, Duck.
He doesn't even stream anymore. It's fine.
That's true. Had to
Well-
go elsewhere for my 2000s alt rock music.
Wow.
You got it now.
Well, I think that's going to do it for the night, though. GG's again to all of you, and best of luck going forward, and for those of you who are in the SMZ3 tournament tomorrow.
Thanks.
Any final words, Lumaga?
Nope. Good race, good comms, good everything, and good night, I guess.